Hello, I recently received a comment on a video asking, is there technically a set that's better than the 30% attack increase set in the game for Simon? And if so, what would it be? I replied to that comment already, giving a brief description of it, but basically I'm going to take my time here to explain it a little bit better and in a little bit more in depth. I have already written basically a Raucous Simon guide. You can find it in the Discord. I highly recommend checking out the Discord, etc. It's a wealth of it's a wealth of information to find in there, either from myself or from other people who play the game, as well as the devs, who generally are pretty open about things in there. I'm going to be using one of the guides that the dev wrote. One of the devs themselves wrote to show an example of the damage formula later on in this video. But for now, I will give the short and sweet version of it. Yes, there are better sets in the game than the attack percent. So if we come in here, the set that they were referring to is this, the strength set. It gives you a 30% increase to your attack for having 4 pieces equipped. This is just a very good general all-purpose, all-round set to have if you don't have other things laying around. It is just a nice thing to aim for because it's going to be useful in any build you play. Literally anything you play in this game will benefit from this set. So if you're starting out and you want something to work towards, strength is great. The second set that is also very, very good and a nice, just general all-purpose set is Biphase. Biphase is a crit-based set. Crit is a very, very valuable stat in the game due to the way that the multipliers work, but you can get a lot of crit from within the runs themselves, which is why we don't opt to actually run this on Simon. Now, that being said, it's still a very nice set. If you don't know what else to aim for, this is a nice thing to just slap on whilst you're working towards other things. Now, Simon in particular, what are the 2 sets that I would recommend, and what are technically his best? There are 2 sets currently that are performing exceptionally on Simon, and perform very, very highly, and that is Gale, which gives you a normal attack speed and final normal attack damage whenever you crit, stacking up to 5 times. And then there is also Potential. It gives you normal attack, increase stacking up to 5 times, just for landing a last hit with your normal attacks. Simon, whenever he is using Thermal Shot, gives... let me rephrase. Simon, whenever he Thermal Shots, is last hitting. Every shot of Thermal Shot is a last hit, so this will stack to full pretty much immediately whenever you start your combo. This is a lot of value, and it is technically the set that will give you the most damage per shot whenever you fire your Raucous Burst. So, in my run that you saw me doing for the 2-minute 46, I was running Potential Energy because it's just rolled better for me. That's the real short and sweet of it. Gale and Potential Energy are both very, very good. Whatever one has rolled best for you in terms of stats, opt to use that one. What are the benefits of Gale though, and why having normal attack speed? Well, the benefits of Gale is the more attack speed you have as Simon for your normal attacks, the better your turn angles are going to be whenever you are rotating in the room. What I mean by this is when Simon is doing his Thermal Shot, he remains stationary, so having more attack speed just means you'll be able to snap to targets much, much more efficiently. It is a little bit less normal attack damage per shot, of course, but you're going to be shooting more shots in general, so it equals out to being around about the same DPS. I personally think Gale is the better set. I'm going to be running Gale pretty much as soon as I can get it to roll better than my Potential Energy set. But yeah, you can't go wrong with either of these, so just use whichever one has rolled best for you. What stats are you looking for to be able to determine this? Well, you want to find as much attack and as much final weapon damage as possible, and then some crit rate. Why do we do this? If I now flash up the formula, this will make more sense. Here you can see, if you have more than 100 attack, each 3.3% final weapon damage you get is going to be more DPS gains than if you went for more attack. Cool, right? So, if we now go up here, look at the formula, why are we picking up final weapon damage over crit damage? Like I said, final weapon damage is harder to find in the run compared to crit damage, so if we can squeeze it on our gear and have a higher base value of final weapon damage, we're going to gain more value out of each point of crit damage that we can pick up within a run. So we put on some attack to increase our base values, which is then multiplied by base damage increases. These are things like some of your weapon customization options will say increase the base damage of stuff, etc. Damage dealt up. These can be either from debuffs that you apply or relics that you gain, which just give you generic damage increases. And then everything from final normal attack, heavy attack, ultimate, weapon, and tech damage are all in the same bucket. It's hard to find a big source of final weapon damage outside of some Mirage drivers and Mirage relics, which we pick up within the run. But with the help of stuff like Group Focus, Bionic Synergy, Flow State, whatever the timed one's called, where if you clear a room in under 50 seconds, then you can scale up to 240%, it's much easier to find a much higher crit damage multiplier in comparison to weapon damage. The caveat is obviously you need to crit in the first place. So this is why we choose the third stat where we can to be crit rate on our gear, so that way it's easier for us to get towards that 100% crit rate towards the end of the run and just have some ludicrous amounts of damage. That's the short and sweet of it. I hope this made sense. To recap, basically aim for Gale or Potential Energy, whatever set has rolled better. You're looking for attack and final weapon damage on your gear, slap in some crit rate where you can, and just go ham. Try to aim for perfect pieces or superb pieces where possible, so that way you can get more bonus rolls onto your gear. This being the, if I quickly slap back on the game screen here, this being these numbers here, the 2, the 1, and the 1 here. If we look at the superb piece I'm wearing, it's a 111. Having perfect can give you 4, meanwhile superb is only going to have an equivalent of 3. You'd want it to hit your attack and final weapon damage where possible though. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.